starting a bit late. We'll do our Pledge of Allegiance as the trustees make it towards the dais. Trustee Hollis, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, Trustee Hollis, for the Pledge of Allegiance. We will now have the readout from closed session, and that would be Trustee Handy. Yes. Let me find my glasses. One moment.
At tonight's closed session, the board voted to ratify the appointment of the following public employee contract, which is subject to contractual agreement by the chancellor. Recommendations to appoint Kevin Bertelson as Director for Facilities and College Operations, Merritt College, effective April 30th, 2018 through June 30th, 2020 at $135,987 annually. 7 ayes, 0 noes, abstentions, or absent. Recommendation to extend the appointment of Karen Engel as Interim Dean of College Research and Planning, College of Alameda, effective July 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018 at $147,319 annually. 7 ayes, 0 noes, abstentions, absent, 0. Recommendation to appoint Q Lee as Director of Enterprise Services, District Office, effective April 25th, 2018 through June 30th, 2020 at $135,987 annually. Ayes 7, no 0, abstentions none, none absent. If these individuals are present, please stand so that we can welcome you into your new position. No one here? Okay, they're working. All right, thank you. Madam President, that concludes the closed session readout for tonight.
Thank you, Trustee Handy. Madam Clerk, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Weinstein? Trustee Handy? Trustee Withrow?
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen? Not here. Trustee Bonilla?
Here.
Student Trustee Moore? Student Trustee Hollis? Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Move approval.
I'll second it.
It's been moved in second. Do we have, we call a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any? Oh, we have something in the readout regarding the agenda.
Under Agenda Item 5.2, Board Policy 4300 field trips and excursions was removed. That's it. That's it. Thank you.
So I'll call the question, call the vote on the approval of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. I'll call for the vote if there's no discussion.
Question.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the Associated Student Government Reports.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Clemence Turvalon. I am the current... Good evening, members of the board. My name is Clemence Turvalon. I am the current ASCOA president of student body, and I will make my report very short and brief. Today, we have the pleasure of providing fresh produce to over 200 individuals, while also competing in our 4th annual student and faculty softball game where the students, for the first time in 4 years, put it to the faculty. There's been a little bit about what the score is. When I left, I think it was a 14-6. I think we had some of those were recalled, and we ended up at 11-6. And either way, we did win. And what we're working on currently, our next event, is going to be occurring on May 10th between 5:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. in the College of Alameda Student Pit. It will be a night of celebrating student achievement and transfer and scholarship for the class of 18, and it will be our College of Alameda Scholars Celebration. That is where our main focus is at this time. Thank you for allowing me to take this time to introduce myself and to give you a report of what our Student Senate has been doing.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. And congratulations on that score.
Thank you.
Do we have any other student government reports? The next, do we have any other student government reports? Oh, do we?
You're not able to make it.
Okay. We will, if we have a student arrive that is ready to give a report, we'll take that out of order on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the Peralta Classified Senate Report. And we do not have Mr. Bryce. Have anyone standing in for Mr. Bryce?
Good evening, moving right along. It's just like to just say hello to everybody. It's good to have another meeting. It's been a while. It's been like a month, I guess. The District Academic Senate, we were trying to wrap up the school year and really excited about a number of things. One of the things that we're excited about is that tonight on your agenda is a planning and budgeting calendar that the district governance committees may use to guide their agendas, goals, and recommendations for administrative decision-making. Unfortunately, though, nearly a complete academic year has passed without so much as adhering to any such principles as suggested in the calendar you are approving. It has been argued that without such a calendar, there was no mechanism for operating in a manner that would provide transparent review of past expenditures, expected revenue, trends in student performance and experience, and other pieces of information necessary for productive discourse. And I'm sure you are already aware that the District Academic Senate views this argument as a deflection, suggesting that until there's a formal calendar, the principles of an inclusive and well-informed consultative process can be put on hold, hijacked, or better yet, conveniently disregarded. And despite the number of meetings one convenes of different constituency groups, without the information necessary for making recommendations nor the time frame for the deliberative process, the efficacy of those meetings was incredibly compromised by design. I know that this is repeating comments I've made in the past, but I hope in reviewing the calendar, reviewing and approving the calendar before you, you have a better understanding of the rationale for the grievances that have been made to date and are more empowered to expect and ensure the adherence to the calendar is followed going forward. The DAS would like to thank a couple of faculty members, Andrew Park specifically and Heather Dodge as well. Andrew Park is faculty at the College of Alameda, and Heather Dodge is BCC faculty, and she is also a representative on the statewide Academic Senate OER committee. Those two, along with many other faculty from all four campuses, have done some great work in building the work that is happening at all four colleges to put together an impressive application for an OpenStax OER institutional partnership grant. The DAS supports and really appreciates their work, and also appreciates the support of other administrators, specifically Dr. Siri Brown, who forwarded a letter of recommendation in support of their application. The DAS is also working on an agenda for a local plenary. We just came back from the state Senate plenary a couple of weeks ago. And our local plenary is to better educate and involve faculty at the four colleges in the workings of the college and district senates. That plenary will be held on the 15th of August. And I'm sure that many of you have, or I'm hoping that many of you have heard some of the grievances from our state academic senate with many issues going on right now, most notably with guided pathways, AB 705, and especially the deliberations on 115th online only community college. It has been really made apparent that the consultative process at the state level in the current administration at the chancellor's office has been seriously depleted. Whereas we used to have consultation with the state chancellor on a twice-a-month basis, I think the state senate president has only been afforded 2 meetings with the current state chancellor. And so many of the concerns of the faculty, just to be able to voice those concerns and have a space where we can ensure that our state chancellor was advocating on behalf of the colleges, not just pushing down the agendas from the governor. We don't have that assurance, but I'm hoping that you all are aware of some of those issues that are coming down, and that as a district we can be prepared to be responsive as best as we can to support our students. Many other details, many other agendas and initiatives are in the process. The Senate is really grateful for the opportunity that we've had this year, unlike past years, of actually being a part of the conversation around the target, the FTES target in the district. Again, going back to my earlier comments, we didn't have a formal process for that, but we are really appreciative of our administrators who have seen that without the formal process, nonetheless, the principles should be adhered to. And again, I'm not singling out Dr. Brown, but again, that's another moment where she has been really integral in modeling the kind of leadership that we hope that we can experience more broadly. So with that, and looking forward to sharing more in the month of May, since we have 2 board meetings in May, and also looking forward to, because we have 1 meeting in May, looking forward to the graduations that we will be seeing you in attendance at in May, so we can celebrate the accomplishments of our class, of our students. So with that, I say thank you again, and have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. And our student leader has arrived. So Iris, if you could come give us the Associated Student Government Report.
Good afternoon. Sorry for that late. Okay. Good evening. My name is Iris Martin, and I am the president of Associated Students of Mary College. And here is our report. ASMC wrote, as I said in our last report, that we wrote a grant, and well, we were granted the grant, and we're happy to announce that our grant proposal was funded. We will receive $2,500 to support our students with comfort kits, which will include blankets, diapers, canned foods, toothpaste, toothbrush, and other items. Once we have the funds, we will start buying the items for those students in need. The comfort kits will be in the Office of Students' Activities and Campus Life at Mary College. So for anybody that would like to come by, feel free. Also, Mary College election were on April 10 and 11, and it was a success. We wish all new board members much success in the roles they will have on their campuses to support students' growth and development. Tobacco, so there is another announcement for those who would like to go for, there is a conference for tobacco. It's going to be free. It's going to be held in Sacramento between May 6 and 7. for more information, you can email me. I mean, I will pass along my email, and also you can email Marlene Hurt. This is going to be free, which includes hotel and food. Mary College will be going, and also I believe Laney College with other 12 campuses from California. Save the date. Mary College will host graduation on Wednesday, May 23rd at the Paramount Theater. And at May 8th, the board of, on the next, on my next report, I will have a presentation with a PowerPoint with a few pictures and videos from all our travels from the AS, not just Mary College, but with the other AS, which is I will be presenting on the next report from May 8th. And well, this wasn't in my report, but I would like to say this, something that I wanted to say. War is not the solution, but education and solidarity towards one and another. There is no such a religion, race, and gender. We are all human beings, which means even if we look different in size, we might have different gender, color. We might not speak the same language. But guess what? We all have blood running into our veins, which means we all deserve a happy life and respect through our motherland that has provided us mostly everything we have today. War, discrimination, deportation is not the solution, but education, respect, and love is our goal to a better world. With that, thank you so much for giving me that time.
Thank you for that inspiring report, and congratulations again to the Merritt College students regarding the grant approvals. So the next item that we have on the agenda is the Chancellor's report. Try and follow that, Chancellor.
I'm so scared to follow that. I'd suggest that we do public comments first.
I was teasing the Chancellor and skipped public communication. Do we have any speaker cards? We have one.
Jeff Sanser? Sanseri?
Pretty darn close, I'll take it.
Okay.
Is that, okay. Okay. I even let go of my own hat for this. Okay. Hi, I'm Jeff Sanseri. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Peralta Federation of Teachers, and I want to start by talking about my job. I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. 3 years ago, I was hired to teach history full-time at College of Alameda. I guess I should mention the majority. Yeah, I'm awesome. I guess I should mention the majority of my colleagues aren't really so lucky. But I wanted to say that whether I was speaking on behalf of the PFT or not, when I was hired, I was told that part of my job was always to be of service to the institution and even the district for which I work. I serve on the Academic Senate as an officer of College of Alameda. Excuse me. And I'm part of a few other committees and subcommittees here and there. Honestly, I'm still learning. I'm in my third year, so I'm trying to figure out ways to help wherever I can. In other words, my job was to kind of be a part of all this, to help with the governance of my campus and by extension the district, and to pay attention to the well-being of the larger institution or district. So when I listen to the PFT president at each of these meetings, and I'm here for all of them, kind of lurking in the background with the hat on, probably you've seen me. When I hear them talk about the financial mismanagement or missing millions or whether or not we meet our enrollment goals for the year or what's become of more of a special interest of mine, the Measure B spending, I start to take those things seriously. And I think I'm supposed to take those things seriously. It's my job. And what worries me is that despite the fact that the PFT has spoken directly to the board about the misapplication of Measure B funds, and the District Academic Senate has done the same, and I think at least one campus has spoken up about it, and perhaps most importantly, the Citizens Oversight Committee, the committee that was formed specifically to ensure that those funds were, allocated in accordance with its own provisions, we haven't really seen concerted action from the Board of Trustees to ask seriously tough questions of this administration. Questions that I think need to be asked, if for no other reason than for the sake of transparency and as a public demonstration to the faculty and to the public that you're taking your own jobs as seriously as I know you are. Like I said, I'm here every week, so I see, I see that you guys aren't just like, sitting around. I know you guys are taking your job seriously, but, discussing these things would be a wonderful public demonstration of that. Now, I know that the public, that the president of the PFT's door is always open to have a dialogue, just as I know the leadership of the District Academic Senate is always more than willing to talk. I'm sure you already do speak with them. I don't know, what happens in all the meetings that are going on, so I don't want to assume anything. For my part, as a faculty member and the president of the PFT's COPE, or the Committee on Political Education, I'm always happy to have a dialogue with any of you. And to find ways to make sure that we are all informed and that we're asking the right questions, and perhaps most importantly, that we're getting real answers. But at this point, I think there's an overwhelming suspicion from the faculty that only you guys can get those. Ideally, I'd like us to work together and just start asking good questions and hoping for the best answers we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cesari. Next item on the agenda is the Chancellor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm pleased to share with you that we have taken the step of some positive interaction and discussion with our colleges as well as the district office in regard to something that I had promised that we would do. So in March, nearly 300 students, faculty, staff, and administrators came together in sessions at each of our colleges and here at the district office to share their ideas about the unmet needs that we have at as a district. We identified together as a group 862 ideas about unmet needs, and that would really help us to serve our students better and for our employees to do their work better. We heard comments and frankly, a lot of honest comments and frankly, a few criticisms as well. But I was very impressed with the uplift of the conversation and the commitment that our people make to the Peralta colleges, our mission, and our students. I was assisted in this effort by Mary Denise Jackson as well as Sean Cornu, and I appreciated the support that I received from each of the college presidents so that the conversations could go on. We have put a summary of the conversations on the website, and we are working with our leadership in facilities, information technology, academic affairs, and human resources to further refine the ideas and determine which ideas we may already be working on and that are already incorporated in our plans and which ones are not. I said that we would have 3 steps as we look at this particular endeavor. One of them is to identify our needs. The second one is to quantify the needs. And the third one is to identify partnerships that are more closely aligned to our mission so that we can meet the needs that we have, the resources that we need in order to meet those needs. I want to highlight calls for additional professional development and training of our classified employees, as well as improvements to classrooms and facilities that faculty requested. Of course, this is not scientific research, but it has been an important time for us to come together and commit to improving our work processes. I was very reinvigorated and recharged, as I always am, by these conversations with our faculty, students, staff, administrators, and I hope that everyone will take the time to go on the website and see all those ideas that have been gathered throughout the Peralta district. So thank you, and this ends my report.
Thank you, Chancellor. So the next item on our agenda is a public hearing, and that public hearing is the sunshining of the contract reopeners for negotiations with the International Union of Operating Engineers, IUOE Local 39, to the district for regular and hourly employees. So we'll gavel in the We'll recess the regular meeting and gavel in the public hearing. And then, Madam Clerk, do I need to read this? Okay, great. So are there any comments regarding the sunshining of the contract reopeners for Local 39? Hearing none, did we see any?
No.
Okay, seeing none and hearing none, we will close the public hearing. And we will reopen the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. The next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. Do we have a motion for approval of the consent calendar?
So, second.
It's been moved and second. There being no discussion, we will take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda, and that would be actually, they're divided into several different sections. So let me do that again. Is that motion to approve the consent calendar in items 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10?
Yes, with the necessary correction.
Okay, so that necessary correction has been made. Is there any adjustment in the vote with that correction? All right, then the motion carries with that correction. The next item is the action item at number 11, which is consider approval of independent contractors/consultants for Associated Advertising Services, DBA Flying A Media, in the amount of $10,000 at Merritt College.
Move approval.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Then I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Oh, sorry, roll call. Sorry, she's looking at me.
Trustee Weinstein? Yes. Trustee Handy?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Yuan? Trustee Bonilla? Trustee Riley?
Yes.
And Trustee Brown?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
So that concludes our action items and consent items. The next item on the agenda are the Board of Trustee reports. And we will start with Trustee Bonilla.
Good evening, everyone. Since we've last met, I've had the wonderful opportunity to attend an event called the East Bay Innovations Awards, which is held here annually at the beautiful Fox Theater in Oakland. And this particular association is made up of employer groups from around the East Bay and the San Francisco Bay Area. And they really look at innovative practices amongst our employer groups in advanced manufacturing, clean technology, education, engineering and design. Food is a very innovative category for them, information technology and life sciences. But I'll go back to food for a moment because I was struck by their awardees or the list of awardees. And one of them, if some of you are into vegan or plant-based foods, was Impossible, the Impossible Food Company, who makes the Impossible Burger. Who knows what the Impossible Burger is? There you go, Dr. Karras, yes, Dr. Gilkerson. So anyway, that was just a fun fact. I'm not going to share any more with you about that. You have to figure it out for yourself. But I do want to say that our presidents who were in attendance of this Innovation Award also became very excited about the possibility of perhaps one of their campuses and some of their students and faculty perhaps submitting to be innovation awardees. So we look forward to that in the near future as I see lots of interesting and innovative work happening with each of the campuses. And with that, I will end my report.
Thank you very much, Trustee Bonilla. Trustee Hollis.
Good Good evening, all. It's a very quick meeting, so see if I can make this quick with everyone else. There will be no PSC meeting this Wednesday. I take full responsibility that I didn't put out an agenda, so apologize for not putting the agenda out, so didn't want to task anybody else with trying to come here on a Wednesday. I do plan with Nessie Moore to see if we can get together and meet with the new coming student trustees who have just got elected in, which is Aisha Jordan and Nick Gallen. I believe I said their names right, so that we can meet, discuss, and tell them the things that will be going on as they sit up here in the chairs. With the student trustee right to make and second motions and advisory votes for student trustees, it has recently passed Peralta Governance Council, and hopefully it will get to the Peralta Board of Trustees on May 5th, pending paperwork, stuff of that nature. I totally understand that. There's that. I still need to meet with the College of Alameda and Merritt College to advocate at their colleges to see if they support the student trustees' right to make a second motions and advisory vote, which I'm going to COA on Wednesday and more than likely have to call in to Merritt on Friday because I have class. What else we have here? Results of the student body elections. I like to throw this one out there for the student elections. The amount of student voting we had for this 2018-19 election for Peralta District as a whole was over 1,000 students voting. Yeah, which is a 3 times jump from last year, which is only about 300 some odd students. So kudos. Also, I'd like to throw a big shout out to Berkeley City College because they had the lead number of votes at their college with over 600. As an ASLC member, I'm low-key jealous, I'm not gonna lie, but as a student trustee, I'm very proud. Very proud of their work. With that, I believe that ends my report. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen?
I have no report this week, thanks.
Trustee Withrow?
Pass.
Trustee Weinstein?
Thank you. Very briefly, I had the opportunity to go to Congressman Barbara Lee's gala, and it was really extraordinary. It was totally full, sold out, and it was wonderful to see what the Congresswoman is doing for us, and her special guest was Eric Holder, and he was terrific as well. It's just wonderful to see the support that the Congresswoman gets, and she's just extraordinary. So that was extremely pleasant event. And also, excuse me? Oh, okay. And also have had the opportunity over this past month to actually just speak to people in the community about Peralta and to see what their thoughts are and what some of their questions are. And I know that there are people out there in the community who want to help us. So I hope that we can find a way to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Weinstein. Trustee Moore?
To start, I'd like to ask the board to excuse my absences during the last 2 meetings of March. For the first absence, 13 March 2018, I chose to attend my Tuesday night class rather than the board meeting after looking ahead at the schedule and seeing that had I attended, I would be missing 3 Tuesday night classes in the span of 1 month. Missing 2 classes would be manageable, 3 would not. Although there were only 2 board meetings scheduled for the month, I was also scheduled to attend American Student Association of Community Colleges' annual National Student Advocacy Conference. During the conference, I had the honor of hearing a keynote address from one of my personal heroes, Ralph Nader. I met with college and high school students from across the country who were organizing in preparation for the March for Our Lives and protest against gun violence. I also had the opportunity to visit International Arts and Artists, an organization working to improve cultural exchange through traveling exhibits and by facilitating visas for art internships, scholarships, and training. The conference itself highlighted a push for greater Perkin Loans offerings in order to extend educational opportunities well beyond the trades and high-skilled labor. I spent from Friday 16 March 18 to Wednesday 21 March dedicating my time and energy on behalf of Peralta as a student trustee, attending trainings, gathering information, and networking. At the next board meeting, a reimbursement for out-of-state travel related to the cost of attendance at this conference should appear on the agenda. Upon return, I was catching up on my schoolwork and paperwork in order to enroll in a late start class and prerequisite for my graduation and transfer. My health held out until after the first day of said class, held Saturday, 24 March 2018. That's right, I have a Saturday morning class. So Sunday I fell ill, subsequently visited my doctor twice in the following weeks, and was unable to attend our meeting on 27 March 2018. Please place a formal resolution to excuse my absences on the next board meeting agenda. Although I missed the meetings and my opportunity to skip catered dinners, I will not pass up the opportunity to identify populations of students who are told their needs are not being met for lack of funds. First, I'd like to dedicate one lack of catered meal to all LGBTQI students of Peralta. AB 620 passed in 2001 and encouraged community colleges to collect data related to student sexual orientation and gender identity, in addition to identifying a contact person for LGBTQ students. My 2014 Ed Code says the LGBTQ contact person shall be identified at each campus, and their contact information shall be published in the campus directory. I don't know if at this point today a contact person published in the directory is a suggestion or a requirement, but I do know that this is something Peralta fails to do. The state also offered through 2017 free online training for students and staff to identify and support at-risk students through a web-based training called Cognito. The opportunity was largely wasted at Peralta, but the training still exists and is urgently needed. Just last week, when a district-wide group of faculty met, a faculty member referred to transgender students as those kinds of students and demonstrated just how alienated they were from an underserved and undervalued population of students and how far Peralta falls short of its mission and goals. I would like to take the opportunity to thank students like Kieran Darkwater for their efforts to organize and support LGBTQI students. Most recently, Kieran created a campus map of gender-neutral restrooms on the Laney College campus. Thank you, Kieran Darkwater. The opportunity to provide more gender-neutral restrooms on campus is largely ignored. There are a great number of single-stall restrooms that could easily be converted to single occupancy and therefore gender-neutral restrooms with a change to the door locking mechanism. The first rebuttal to this I usually hear is a safety concern, but the argument is largely a straw man, as evidenced by the lower-level A building restrooms at Laney. The restrooms have been kept locked since a series of rapes on campus years ago, according to staff. These locked restrooms symbolize how our campus was not ever made safe. Students were simply denied access to restrooms, and the same problems persist. I would like to attend schools where it's safe enough that myself and my administrators don't have to choose between not having a restroom or not getting raped. The second student population I'd like to recognize is student artists in the fine arts. While other majors and areas of studies receive benefits of the career centers, fine arts students receive no assistance with opportunities for internships, artist residencies, and portfolio development. Our own campus galleries choose to exhibit non-student art more often than not by a large margin. Beyond recognizing our fine arts students by exhibiting their work, their efforts and contributions to the larger Bay Area community is also unsupported. At Laney alone, we have 3 outstanding community arts organizers. You've probably all seen the Dragon School graffiti throughout Chinatown, organized by our very own Jen Anderson. Vicki Gunther helps organize the annual and internationally recognized Autumn Lights Festival and curates an entire section for Laney ceramic students called Mud Lights. And last but not least is a student whose name I can't remember, my apologies, who organizes a monthly art exhibit for new and upcoming artists called Berkeley Art Party. These The least Peralta could do to support these students and many more like them is to offer to photograph their work for a portfolio, akin to the professional headshots that are offered to students pursuing other careers. A list of artist residency opportunities could be maintained and shared across all campuses, and our galleries could offer all fine art students the opportunity to display their work, however limited the opportunity may be. Most importantly, fine arts facilities and faculty positions need to be fully funded. The disregard for fine arts is evidenced by the decrepit facilities due to lack of maintenance, and overt exclusion from programs like the Summer Arts Initiative, an arts initiative without fine arts. There is a reason artists are one of the first groups to be eliminated when fascism takes over, and it's time you contemplate your role in this reality. The third student population I'd like to recognize is our low-income students. At one time, Peralta funded a social worker to enroll students in things like Medi-Cal and food stamp programs. The need for such a social worker on each campus has not diminished by any means. By supporting low-income students with a campus-based social worker, the district can refer students to existing opportunities provided by the state. Mental health care, for example, could be accessed through Medi-Cal and would be more readily available and consistent, leading to a higher quality of care for students and a decreased workload for already overworked and rarely available mental health professionals on campus. Since it is graduation time, I should note that not all campuses, and I'm not even sure if one of our campuses, has financial aid for the purchase of cap and gown in order to participate in the commencement ceremony. As a low-income student myself, last year my income was less than $9,000. I cannot afford a cap and gown, and am therefore excluded from my own graduation. I am an example of countless students who are stressing about choosing between sharing their achievement with their friends, family, and community, or whatever other sacrifice they may be contemplating. In addition to the financial stress associated with graduation is the scheduling conflict. This year, all 4 Peralta colleges chose not only graduation rehearsal, but to schedule the commencement ceremony itself during finals week. As such, even if I had a cap and gown, I'm still going to be in a classroom during finals week instead of a graduation stage. Thank you.
Trustee Handy.
Hi, everyone, thank you. It seems like it's been a very, very busy week, but in reality, there's just been a few events that I've had an opportunity to attend. But the most important one was the APAHI, Asian Pacific Americans in Higher Education. 2 days at the Oakland Marriott, where I think this time they cut off, oversold at 750 attendees. This organization was started by many people who were at Peralta and our neighboring colleges, and I've watched it go from 50 to a couple of hundred to 500 to over 750. And to see students coming from all over, not only California, but Saipan, and to see a lot of people who used to work in Peralta who are now living in Indiana and other places is pretty amazing. But the most amazing part of all was our presidents and the panels that they presented, our trustees and the workshops that they presented. And as the women were giving their, and Tui Wynn, who was also our general counsel, was part of the panel, and Judy Miner, but as they were giving their presentation, I was standing there with a young man, and he was like, oh, wow, they're all so amazing. I said, but yeah, they're all started out just like you. And to connect the students to, you were once students, and making it real. And the students' amazement that all of us were once just like them and struggling and are still struggling, and that we've had many things that didn't work out for us and things that work right. They were just in awe to see the transparency and the authenticity of the panelists, and so was I. In fact, I said to Pahi, I walked in there, 15 minutes I'd been at the conference and I was already crying, listening to presentations. But for me, that the most joyful moment was meeting this young man whose name is Hoy, and he has sent me text since. So my new name is Linda from the Block, and he is actually being mentored by Wyman Fong. And as I told him, that Wyman was a bratty little boy when I first got elected, and we mentor each other. But making it real for students and letting them see that we are real and that we're struggling and we're there for them is the most important thing that we can do. And also, having the presidents close down the dance floor is important as well. And it was just an amazing. In fact, after 2 days there, and on the next day, I couldn't get out of bed. I was exhausted. But then I felt this big letdown from being around so many wonderful people, so many smiling faces. And now to see all of the pictures that are being posted and the connections that are being made. So my hat is off to Wyman and Frank, and I can't think of all the names in Tomoko, and all of the people who made this possible and will continue to make it grow. And I believe, Nikki, you were there as well. I saw you from across the room a few times. I also had the opportunity to attend the NAACP Awards dinner last week. And that, again, was amazing, watching Oakland's own people who are doing phenomenal things, not only across the state, but across the country, and to see them being saluted. And the interesting thing was, rather than them giving their speeches, their parents, Regina from EOYDC, her father did her presentation. And Glenda Newell, I believe it was her daughter, who gave the presentation. And it was really amazing. And just to see Oakland's own really coming together for something great. Also had an opportunity to run by the reception for Javier Becerra, who is running for U.S. Attorney General. Is the U.S. Attorney General. State Attorney, but is also running for. And the connection we have there is when we took the students to our Congressional Black Caucus, and they went to the constituents' breakfast that Congresswoman Barbara Lee does. This is when our students are dressed up in their finest, and they go there, and it's a buffet dinner in Congress headquarters in Rayburn House. And all of the Congress people who are available will come in and speak. So our students have met Nancy Pelosi, Boxer, you name it. They've all come in, and they've got an opportunity to dance with the Democratic whip. They've seen Maxine Waters. But this particular time, Javier Becerra was there. And one of our students, I can't pull her name up right now, was sitting next to me, and she was texting. I says, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Well, I'm showing my family what's going on." I said, "So your family is like experiencing all of this?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, I think you need to get a picture with Javier." And she thought, "Oh no, that will never happen." So I grabbed her and took her out of a door because I knew he would be coming out the side door. And let me tell you, the moment when she walked up to him and he said, "Of course I'll take a picture with you." And this picture going all the way back to Mexico. Those moments are so important. And that young lady eventually graduated from us. So when I saw him, I just wanted to thank him for being so gracious to our student. But this is a man who walks up to you and just takes your hand and just sincerely asks, "What can we do for you?" And he's also taken steps to, like in Sacramento, he's the first one who said, "Okay, the chief of police in Sacramento asked him to look into what happened with this particular incident when the young man was killed." And it was just energizing to see this and to see little 6-year-olds coming up and talking to him and having a conversation with him. So it was a great week. And then one more thing, I just want to announce that one of our student trustees, Sharon Clegg, I got a phone call from her, and she will be receiving her master's degree from Mills College. And I received my invitation in the mail the other day. This is what keeps us going. This is what keeps us working, doing our own personal work until midnight while we're doing conferences and things, because when the students come back and let us see their successes, that is the thing that's most important. And then one more thing, I had the opportunity to attend the services for James Kemp today, who passed away. But James Kemp was with the Academy of Truck Drivers, which was a program that was out of College of Alameda. And to be able, I had the opportunity, the honor of reading the resolutions and the tributes from Congresswoman Barbara Lee, the county, the city, and all of that. But when you think that one man was responsible for creating an organization that trained people who had been previously incarcerated to have a sustainable job that they could take care of their families. Over 2,200 graduates, over 2,200 people are now driving trucks because of this one person. And one other thing that he did is when Hurricane Katrina took place, he arranged a national convoy of trucks, and they all drove in to take in supplies. And looking at our current administration not doing that for our own people, for one person to take on that kind of act was something. So it was an honor to be able to be there at the memorial celebration of someone who's contributed so much, not only to Peralta, but to our communities. And for that, I'm really grateful. Thank you.
So Trustee Riley passes. Trustee Riley? And so I would just like to congratulate Dr. Burns on hosting the Attorney General's training regarding campus sexual misconduct and campus violence at Merritt College with the Attorney General's office. Congratulations for taking that conscious step towards making our campus safer and more aware of those important issues. And I would like to also congratulate our President Gilkerson for receiving an award at the Apache Conference. I was so glad that I got there just in time to see that award. And it was, you know that somebody's like really talented and cool, but then you hear their story and you're like, I like them even more. So it was great to see such an awesome representation of the talent and the leadership and the strength of character that we have in our college presidents. So that was congratulations to our Fab Four. But she said even Tim. See, don't even let her.
I have the picture. No, I have the picture of the fabulous three together.
Okay, all right, stop laughing. So I just wanted to offer those congratulations and say that I was really glad to have a chance to be there and attend the Apache Conference. Oh, and I got a chance to present with my friend Thuy Nguyen and our former general counsel. So with that, I will conclude the the trustee comments. And are there any announcements? Trustee Handy, do you have any? Brenda's pointing at you.
The next regular board meeting will be held on May 8th at the District Office Boardroom. Brenda.
Say it.
The board wishes Trustee Handy a very happy birthday tomorrow. Thank you. Madam President, that concludes the announcements for this evening.
The meeting is adjourned.
Did I want to what, Brenda? Oops.